We have none other than Mr. Bobby Cruz. He is the ring announcer for the illustrious Ring of Honor promotion. Mr. Bobby Cruz, how are you doing?
Good, Darius. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We're a three-man team. It's myself, Darius. We also have Shane and Demetrius on the line. So we'll try and keep it, simple and not a circus act for you, so you won't get too confused. But Ring of Honor right now is blowing up as we speak. We spoke to Brent Albright not too long ago, and it seems like the locker room is really excited about things that are going down. You just had your first pay-per-view. You have to excuse me. I'm fighting a cold right now, so I might have one of my other guys take over for me. But like I said, you just finished taping the first episode of Ring of Honor on HDnet. How was that like? What was the atmosphere in the locker room for the guys, and what are your expectations for this television taping?
Well, it was a great atmosphere overall. I'll tell you, this is what a lot of the guys have been working for a long time in the wrestling business. Excuse me. You have Brent Albright. You have a few other guys, Austin Aries, who have done some time in either WWE or TNA. But for a lot of these other guys, this is their first shot at quote-unquote national television. So the vibe in the locker room was a very excited one and a very focused one. Everyone knows from, me on up, from me as the ring announcer to the refs and the wrestlers, the office, everyone knows what's on the line here. And we have a huge opportunity, and I think it's going to be great. HDnet has been tremendous so far to work with. I think it's going to be a very exciting partnership with ROH and HDnet down the road.
Right, definitely. Now, for myself, I was unable to watch it live because we don't have HDnet here. Did they tell y'all how we can, for those of us who don't have it, can get a hold of HDnet? I had to watch it on YouTube to see how.
Yeah. I found out today that it was up on YouTube, which, at this point I think is a good thing. HDnet would be the first to admit they're not in as many homes as they'd like to be, and that will progress as the year 2009 goes on. I'm very fortunate. I have DirecTV, so I have access to it. People at Dish Network and the HD package have access to it. I think it's going to be slowly but surely get done as far as more and more cable systems in different areas picking up HDnet. I just found out that Comcast in the Boston area, which is a huge pickup for HDnet, just started carrying it in the past week or two. So I think as 2009 progresses, I think you'll see a lot more availability of HDnet on individual cable systems. Right.
Now, like I said, I did get to catch it on YouTube, so I did get to see. I was quite impressed with the show. What I liked about it was it featured the wrestling. There wasn't the the goofiness. It was classic Ring of Honor, excellent wrestling. You saw some chain wrestling going on. And it featured some guys that a lot of people probably have never heard of, and now that they got to see these guys in action, what's Mr. Black's name? The main event was can you refresh my memory?
Tyler Black and Jimmy Jacobs. Yes.
Right. So I mean, now they had a feud that probably a lot of people never were exposed to before, and they all recapped that for us. And
right.
I just thought it was an excellent, an excellent way to kick it off.
I agree. I think, overall, I think we should be happy. I know there's things that are going to be, that we change here from on our side and HDNet side with their production as we learn. I mean, that was the first, the first 2 nights of tapings were the first 6 weeks. So, we've got our next set coming up here in Philly on April 9th and 10th, which happens to be Thursday and a Friday in a couple of weeks. And we may do some things a little bit differently as far as lighting, as far as sound. I know there was some concern about there was 1,000 people there for the first 3 episodes, and you really couldn't tell that on the first episode. People watching it, that's what I've talked to. People have told me, it didn't seem like there were that many people there because the crowd noise wasn't there. They were loud, but it just wasn't picked up. So we may look at, miking the crowd a little bit on these next sets. So, but I agree with you. I think it was a great first entry into TV. Anyone that's a Ring of Honor fan obviously will watch it, and anyone who's not, hopefully watching it for the first time, gets hooked here in the next few weeks. I thought they did a great job with that a Ring of Honor history type video package that I believe was in the second segment that really gave a nice, quick, thorough recap of not only Ring of Honor, but all the stars that have come through Ring of Honor and gone on to other places. And people may, recognize CM Punk and Samoa Joe and Homicide and say, wow, I didn't know they were in Ring of Honor. Let me check this company out. So I think it was a great first step. There's no doubt.
Right. And that's the thing that I like about Ring of Honor, which a lot of fans will soon get to find out that there's a movement in the making, I think. And I think it's starting with Ring of Honor, where it's more faster paced. We're seeing, chain wrestling come back with, several moves, spot moves, all intertwined into one. And it's very fast paced, it's very entertaining, and it's not just like the gimmick, 450 splashes. There is some reasoning behind it, and y'all are getting some big with this television program. I do believe y'all have Mr. Nature Boy Ric Flair appearing. Is that true?
Ric Flair is doing several appearances with us. He just did one a couple of weeks ago in St. Louis. That was his first one. He's coming up in Manassas, Virginia. He's coming up to Detroit. And we just announced this past week at our big show at the Hammerstein Ballroom that he will indeed be with us at the Hammerstein Ballroom return on June 13th. So I believe we have several Ric Flair appearances coming up here in 2009. Very exciting.
Yeah. I mean, so Ring of Honor is not just some, backyard, wrestling organization. You've had, like you just mentioned, Samoa Joe. You've had CM Punk. A lot of great wrestlers have found their way through this organization, and I'm just happy myself, a little marked up to see that y'all are getting the opportunity to shine, and we were debating this last week, and it's probably way too early, but we were already debating how soon before Ring of Honor steps up there with TNA. I know it's kind of quick, but do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, obviously it would be great. I mean, they're a solid number 2 right now. There's no doubt about it. Nobody can question that. Whether you like their programming or you don't, or you agree with what they do or you don't agree, they're a solid number 2. And, when you're number 3, as we are, the next logical step is to try and get to the level of number 2. They have the added advantage. Yes, they're on cable, but they're basically what we call basic cable with Spike TV. So that's a huge advantage for them right now. We'll kind of make up some ground, I would think, as the year progresses, as I mentioned before, as HDnet becomes more and more available on cable systems across the country. I think I see nothing but great things. I really don't. I mean, it's a great locker room. It's a focused locker room, like I said before, and really, it's all up to us. I mean, we've been given the opportunity by our management, Carrie Silken, Sid Ick, and we've been given the opportunity by HDnet. And there's no doubt that Ring of Honor knows wrestling, and it certainly seems that HDnet knows production. Let's see if we can make a winning team out of this. And so far, I think we have.
Definitely. Now, the wrestling world has been getting a lot of attention. There's rumors of either a HBO or Showtime series that's about to pop up, but more importantly, that's in the news was the movie The Wrestler, which Mickey Rourke was nominated for an Oscar for, and Ring of Honor had a huge part in that movie. They were featured in it, and that's where the big build-up for the Rams final matchup was taking place. And you were actually in that movie, I do believe. Could you tell us a little about The Wrestler and Ring of Honor's part in that movie?
Yeah, it was obviously a great opportunity. When we first had heard that Darren Aronofsky was looking to do the movie The Wrestler, and was interested in doing, something with Ring of Honor, obviously it was an exciting opportunity. When you start putting a a movie out there that got the buzz that the wrestler did and won the awards that it did, and like I said, Mickey Rourke's recognition